Alright, you guys, I am filling in some gaps of some makeup reviews that I am long overdue for. We're getting settled back into our normal routine after being out of town and then Jose's parents visiting right after. So I've been living off of pre-filmed videos other than the Natasha Denona palette, which is already up. But there's a lot of products that I received while I was out of town that I haven't gotten the chance to get up to speed with. So these are all newish products. A lot of these are products that a lot of you guys asked for my thoughts on. It is the first impressions, but as always, make sure you subscribe to my channel because these will be put in my speed reviews drawer for an upcoming speed reviews after I test them more. I actually need to do a speed reviews. My drawer is overflowing and we're just going to add to it today, but let's get started. So M Cosmetics, a little bit more of an under the radar brand, but I didn't have a good primer for today's video and I want to prime with their Divine Water Perfecting Mist. This is supposed to help makeup last longer. It's supposed to make makeup look more refreshed. And I think it's going to be good as my base just for a little bit of hydration. Since I'm using a lot of new base products today, I also didn't want to do too many layers of new products. So something light like this is perfect for a new foundation that I'm going to be testing. Wow, this smells really good. It's very subtle. There is a fragrance to it if you can't do fragrance at all, but if you're just a little bit sensitive to fragrance, I think you'll be okay with this. It's subtle, it's fresh, it's a little floral, but I don't like floral typically. This smells better than floral. I don't know what it smells like, but it smells good. So we're gonna let that kind of dry a bit. I'm trying to be like, pow. Good. Let's get foundation on. So I have a new tint from Sigma. I can't tell you the last time that they've launched a complexion product like this. This is exciting and I've seen some good reviews on it. It's the Sigma Skin Perfector Hydrating Tint. I'm gonna try the shade 2. There's not like a little ball shaky thing in here. Okay, ignore how dirty this looks. I've tried so many times to clean this better, but it's a little bit thicker. I'm gonna start off, I probably could go with shade number 3, I would say. We'll keep this towards the center of the face. How about that, since I've already poured some product out. Really light coverage here. Okay, so since it's lighter, it doesn't really matter because the coverage is so light, but I will keep this towards the center of my face. It is advertised as a tint, so I wouldn't expect anything more. This feels like it would be good for oily skin. I mean, I have dry skin. It doesn't feel drying, but it's not too shiny, which I think would be good for oily skin because you don't want to start off too shiny for oily skin if you're planning on wearing this for a long time, especially in the summer. So let me try a little bit of 3 as well. I've been keeping my eyes glued to the phone because my cousin had her baby today. I'm so excited. It's the first baby in her family in forever. I'm actually scared of babies. I think I've held a baby once in my life. Yeah, the shade number 3 is good for me. I would say I'm probably like the perfect combination of 2 and 3 for my shade. But anyways, I'm waiting for pictures of the baby. That's why I'm like, has she texted me yet? Okay, let's get close and see how we're looking. It's sitting pretty nice. It's not the cutest on my nose, but that's to be expected with a lot of products. Once I put concealer on, it will look good. But honestly, this looks quite healthy. It does have that light tint. There is a little bit of a glow to it, but it's not like a greasy glow, which is why I think this could work well for oily skin. It's sticking to my hairs a little bit in the center of the face. I wouldn't call this a smoothing skin tint, but it does feel hydrating. Overall, my skin looks really healthy with this, so we're not going to get a ton of coverage with today's look. So I'm probably going to add a little bit of extra concealer. It does feel a little bit tacky on the skin, but this looks really nice and healthy. I think this would be really good for work or for natural makeup days, assuming that it wears well. We will see. Glossier also expanded in their range while I was gone. The Boy Brow Arch. So I have a few different shades to choose from. Let's do Cool Brown. Now, I love the Glossier Boy Brow Gel. I don't think they've had a pencil before that I was a fan of. But this is such an interesting shape. It's like a square, but cut off slanted. So at first use, it's going to be really sharp with the tip. But I don't know how we can keep that up. Anyways, let's see. It's got a little bit of a creamier application from what I can tell, but it's not too creamy to where it's messy. Personally, I like it dry. I like it where I have to press kind of hard to get the pigment out. This is a little bit softer than I prefer, but so long as it blends well, as in doesn't overblend, I think we'll be okay. It is softening up a lot as I blend it out. I mean, eyebrow pencils are a product where you can really make them work quite easily. They have to be really bad in order for them to be unusable. And this one is very usable. I'm not getting that feeling that it's going to be an all-time favorite eyebrow pencil of mine, but it's fine. It's getting the job done. I think it's a nice addition to their line because they didn't have an eyebrow pencil quite as fine as this. What did they have? The marker, which was really, really good. But a pencil was needed, unless I'm forgetting that they did have one. Regardless, this is nice. It overblends a little bit for my preferences, but that's just me. I think a lot of people are going to love this, and if you want to support the brand, good product to have in the collection. We all go through eyebrow pencils like water. I'm waiting for eyebrow powders to come back. Do you think pomades will ever come back? That would be interesting. I don't have a new brow gel, so I'm just popping in my ABH Clear Brow Gel. It's so funny how the makeup industry, it seems like everything launches at the same time. Like, for a while there were so many brow gels, so many bronzers, so many concealers. It's all or nothing, I feel like, in this industry. I don't have a new concealer, but I do have a new color corrector. This is from RMS Beauty, which I haven't heard too much of them since they got, I don't know, dropped, since they are no longer at Sephora. But they do send me some products in PR, and it's like every time I open up a package from them, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like their products typically. So I have this Uncover Up Corrector in the shade 22. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be, I guess it's a concealer. This concentrated concealer / foundation self-adjusts to tone, masking imperfections with a buildable coverage for a flawless finish. Interesting. This does not look like a great shade for me, but we're going to try it out. Anyways, so I thought it was a color corrector because it said corrector. I think it's just a normal concealer. Oh no, that's a fine shade. Maybe it did self-adjust. Anyways, I'm using a Sigma F72. Doesn't seem to have super full coverage, but that might just be because of the way I'm applying it. I'm going to try it with a finger on the other side. But what do you think? At first when I applied it, I thought it looked a little dry on the under eye, but as I'm pushing it in and it's warming up to my skin, it's looking a lot better. It's not the smoothest look, but it is blending out quite easily. It doesn't feel dry, but it doesn't feel wet. It's not sticky, which is nice. I've had pot concealers that blend out a little bit softer than this. It's not a full coverage concealer for sure. I prefer using this with a brush. We'll have to see. Concealers are a product that can go very, very wrong, but you need time to tell. But this seems like a good medium coverage pot concealer. The best concealer of all time in a pot is the NARS concealer. This is completely different from the NARS in that it's a little bit more hydrating. We'll see. This could be good for natural days. I'm going to take some and pop it on my nose. I was a little unsure about this shade. It looks pretty yellow and maybe a hint deep, but it's weird that it says it adjusts to your skin tone. But it looks good on my skin tone, and I didn't think that it would. Very interesting. Remember how I said every time I open up a package, I'm reminded that I kind of forgot about the brand, but I like their products? Pretty nice. Okay, for bronzer, I have the new Ilia Sunshift Cream Bronzer. This will be in an upcoming video. I've tried this before, but I needed a new bronzer to the market, so this is what I got. It's my second time trying it, but it will be in an upcoming Sephora haul that I did. It's just not up yet. There's a sponsor, so those take a few days for approval. But anyways, I like this cream bronzer. It wasn't what I expected it to be. Just knowing how their powder bronzer was, the tones are definitely different. It's more of a powder dry down, which I like that in a cream bronzer. You get the beauty of the blend of a cream bronzer and the way that it soaks into the skin and melts into your foundation. But when it dries down a bit, you get that longevity of a powder bronzer. So I like this. The color is interesting. It has a peachy undertone to it, so I like to apply this with peachy blushes. Well, I've only used this once before, but in my head when I use this, I think it's going to look good with peach blushes, so that's probably how I'm going to use it the most. I have been loving this Patrick Ta brush for this side. It really is perfect for cream bronzer. And I've just been lazily contouring my nose with it too. Not a perfect contour, but just get some color on there. Anyways, this is an okay bronzer. It's not one of my all-time favorite bronzers in the world, but I don't have anything bad to say about it. It just doesn't have the wow factor, but it's a nice addition to their line. Then I'm also going to do a little bit of a cream highlight. I don't know if I want to do the Pixie On The Go Super Glow, because I don't like the blush version of this. Let me try it. This is not a new product anymore, I don't think, but it was sitting in my to try bin, so I pulled it for today's video. I'm always hopeful, even if this is related to a product that I don't love. You never know. You can be surprised sometimes. I think I do already like this better than the blush version. And the bronzer version. That was awful. It's okay. I'm not typically a cream or liquid highlight person, but I didn't have a powder highlight in my new to test drawer. So I just thought we could get a little bit of additional glow by trying out a new liquid highlight. And that's okay. It's not the perfect shade for me, but I'm having a much better time with this than I did with the blush or bronzer version of this. Really subtle. I don't love liquid or cream highlights. I feel like as soon as I set with powder, it was dumb to use in the first place because it just covers it up. But that did add a little bit of something something. Okay, the best product that I've tried from Pixie in this deodorant stick form. So remember how I mentioned earlier it seems like it's all or nothing with a launch? We are being attacked by powders right now. So many setting powders. Oh my goodness, my drawer was chock full of them, but I wanted to pick the one that I was the most excited about. I know you guys have been asking. I think that everything Tower 28 touches turns to gold. So they launched these Get Set Blur and Set Pressed Powder. I have two shades, Translucent and Palisades Pink. We'll use both. Against my will, I'd hate to have two different colored under eyes, but for the sake of the video, we are going to. I haven't even come across any reviews on this either. Is this not like a hot launch? I felt like it should be, but maybe that's just me because the brand, in my opinion, launches such good products. Okay, let's do translucent first. Gotta clean up the under eye. And this could be difficult to tell because I have all new base products on. So like I said, stay tuned because I will start to pair this with products that I am familiar with as I test this more. What do you think? I think it helped, but I do think it looks a little bit dry, but that could also be my base products, which is why full face of first impressions sometimes suck and are not the most helpful. Sometimes the products will melt together beautifully, sometimes they just won't. But that is definitely mattifying the face. It's setting it for sure. It's not bad, but it's not the most blurring powder I've used. Right now, first impressions, it's okay. It's not bad at all, but it's acting a little funny here, though that could be the concealer, that could be the skin tint, and it could very well just need a moment to settle into the skin. We'll see. But you know, sometimes there's some products that you get instant wow factor with, and sometimes they need some time to have the wow factor, or sometimes it doesn't come at all. But let's take a look at Palisades Pink. This is in the Hourglass brush. I want to see the difference between applying it with a puff. You know what? I'm really liking this actually with a brush. I think it looks a little bit smoother on this side. I don't notice too much of the pink coming through, but there definitely is more of a brightness coming through with the translucent, just having more of a white base to it. But I actually really like this more so with a brush. What do you guys think? After we get into blush, I'm going to reset my face, and I think that'll melt everything together and get the skin back in the tip-top shape that it was. Another big launch that I missed out on, but I have them here, are the new Fenty Beauty Powder Blushes. They sent me 4 shades. They have that really popular kind of sparkly purple blush. I don't know that I'm going to use that today, but let me swatch them for you. Oh, really smooth, very silky to the touch. Wow. It's not creamy, it's just plain suede silk. These are the suede powder blushes after all. This is Summertime Wine, and they have more colors than just the ones I'm showing you. This is just what I got in PR. I'm seeing if it's worth buying more. Probably not, just because I have a lot of blushes, not because they aren't good enough. And then they also have a couple of shimmer finishes. So this is Water Brat. I hope this isn't too glittery. It looks like it might be, which I might not be a fan of. I don't really like glitter in my blush. We'll try and top it with one of the more flat finishes and see. And then this is the one that people are trying to figure out how to use, I believe. This is Drama Class. Doesn't seem too glittery. It almost seems like kind of holographic. Probably not doing much with this today, but I think these two together could be cool layered. I'm using some of Summertime Wine. Really light hand, it's a deeper color. Yeah, it has quite a lot of pigment to it. So use a light hand if you're on the lighter side. That's pretty. It's not a flat blush at all, and it does have that buttery blend onto the skin. I saw some concerns about the color range for deeper complexions, which is interesting because Fenty is normally quite inclusive on that. I can't really speak on it because I haven't seen the range in person yet, but these do have a lot of pigment. And this seems like it would work well for a wide range of skin tones, but like I said, I'm not experienced enough yet to be able to tell you that with the product. I don't see, like, it's not smoothing. I see some glitter particles, but I don't know if it has just come from other products. Let me layer on a little bit of Water Brat, because this looked glittery for me, which is not my cup of tea, but maybe lightly topped. It's okay. No, I see the glitter. You see that? That's not really flattering. I don't think I like the glittery finish just on first go. I'm going to continue to test these, but I like the matte. It's not matte. It's more of like a satin finish better. Like, look how easily that's blending out. It packs a punch of pigment. Oh my gosh, I'm going to look blush blind. That was a lot of color on me. And then a little bit of this. Yeah, this glimmery one, too much for me. If you're young, I'm talking like early 20s where your skin is really smooth, you could probably get away with that and it'll be fun for like going out and stuff, but not for me. I'm going back in with my foundation brush because I got a lot of pigment from that. Oh my gosh, a bit too much. It really creeped up on me. Wow. Crazy pigment, honestly. I do love how buttery they applied. I'm cheating. I put a little bit of extra skin tint on my brush. So hopefully it doesn't make my skin look terrible since I already have powder on. But that would be on me. Yeah, I just feel like this blush is continuing to blend out with my foundation brush. It's like blending itself even when I don't want it to. Strange how bright that got so fast. Maybe I need a little bit more powder to try and subdue that a bit. I'm just gonna be really blushy, I guess. Oh my gosh. Okay, that came out of nowhere. I thought it was a tolerable amount of pigment with those Fenty blushes, but they really got loud at the end there. Okay, I'm gonna reset since we're done with complexion with the M and give that a couple minutes to push everything in. So, before the setting, it's looking dry right here. Let's see. I love the scent of this. I can't put my finger on it, but it's like very clean. Ooh, such a good smell, and I like the mister as well. Okay, let me let that set down. I think I'm gonna do my eye look while I'm waiting. Oh my goodness. I am sad at the time that this came out because I couldn't really comment on my thoughts on it, but Urban Decay, for a short amount of time, has re-released the OG, the original Naked palette. Wait, pause. Before I go into depth on that, the setting spray has quite literally saved the base. Like, it looks so much more hydrated and everything looks more blended together. Okay, M Cosmetics. Okay, now putting that to the side, I need to talk about this. If you know, you know. I know a lot of you guys have been around the makeup scene for a while, so you probably remember. And towards the end of its life, I even said, I was like, it's not even that good of a palette. It became outdated. So I almost wish that they would have done a renewed and modernized version of this, because there's a lot of shimmers. I need a little bit more depth. There's a lot of mid-tones in here, but man, putting these on my eyes was nostalgic. The names of the shades, even the way that it looks on my eyelid, because I'm pretty sure there's not a look I haven't created with this palette before. I've done it all with this palette. So I just went ahead and did a basic one. I'm going to the movies tonight to see Deadpool and Wolverine. So I do want a little something done, but it doesn't need to be crazy. So I'm starting off with Good Old Virgin. I don't think they did anything with the formulas. Like, they still kind of feel dry to me. Let me know if they did or not, but they kind of feel the same. But it's also been years since I've used this palette. I've decluttered this. I know there's some people who have done versus the really true OG palette versus the new OG palette. But again, those launched when I was not working, so I missed them. I'm gonna use Naked. This is the perfect crease shade for me and my skin tone. Like this brown, there's something so nostalgic about this brown and the way that it looks. This was what changed the makeup industry at the time, you know? I did end up decluttering my old Naked palette, but I'm like, maybe I need to keep holding on to this palette. Oh, Buck. Good old Buck. The perfect next shade up. I'm just windshield, just like old school YouTube days, windshield wiper motions back and forth. The tone of this is screaming 2014 to me as well. Oh, I love it. This is quite a cool toned neutral look. I'm also gonna mix those two shades on the lower lash line. And then I'm taking a new eyeliner pencil from Kosas. These are the Soul Gazer Intensifying Gel Eyeliners. I am loving gel liners more than I ever have before, so I'm excited about these. I'm using the shade Depth, which is just a matte brown shade. I have a bone to pick with this liner already. I don't even know how it wears, but I have to really layer it on to get it in my waterline. It's really attaching itself to my lower lash line, which I think makes it look unblended and chunky. I really am just trying to get it in the waterline, and it's taking some layering. And I feel like it's already kind of wiped off on my other eye. And then something about it looks a little chunky in my lower lashes. So I'm gonna take, it has a little blending, it's like rubber, blending sponge, but it's a rubber material. But that is helping with getting the chunks out down here. It's a smooth pencil. It just doesn't like, I guess, my waterline because it's wet. But using this is helping big time to blend it out because it was almost attaching itself to my hairs. I'm taking a pencil brush now and I'm going into Dark Horse. I used to never use this shade. I didn't know what to do with it back in the day. And I'm gonna run that pretty tight on the lash line. This will add a fun warmth to it as well. And then for the eyelid, I'm using Sin. This is one of Urban Decay's OG signature shades. And I'm just using that to brighten up the eyelid. Sidecar used to be my favorite. I'm going to put that on my eyelid next. I didn't on this eye, but I've decided I want to. Just using all of my favorite nostalgic shades, like Half Baked. They literally came out with multiple palettes based on that Half Baked shade. So many people loved it. But this is giving 2014. This is the kind of eyeshadow look I was wearing. What I say was doing? Some of Sidecar, which has a little bit more glimmer, keeping it on the center of my lid to add more texture and interest. Beautiful! I'm just kind of going back in with my crease brush to bring back some of that depth. Does this look outdated? This is fun. You know what? I kind of like this palette. It's nice. I still feel like we could have done a remastered version of it because there's just some things with the current makeup style that the colors in there don't accommodate to, but I got the job done. I'm going back in with this Kosas liner. I'm gonna tight line with it. Ooh, this is always risky business for me. Oh, that's okay because we're gonna put it on the upper lash line anyways. 2014 me would throw up if she knew I was using brown eyeliner, because back in the day, black liner only, baby. And a pencil too, because that was the time of liquid liners, marker liquid liners, which nobody's using anymore. I like this smudger. Just making sure everything is nice and smooth. So not an A+ gel liner, but we'll see how long it lasts and all of that. And the color range on this collection is really nice. They have some really good deepening shades that are going to make eye colors pop that aren't necessarily a black shade. And there's a couple lighter shades here as well. Essence also has a new mascara. They are known for their Lash Princess mascara, of course. But now they have the Call Me Queen mascara. So let's go ahead and try it. It's the same shape of bottle. I'm not normally in love with mascara's first use, so I'm not expecting too much, but it's giving some nice separation right away that I can appreciate for sure. Now I do find Essence mascaras to be a little bit drier, which I like how that makes my lashes look, but it does run the risk of flaking. Ever since I've stopped using lash serum, putting on mascara is even more depressing than it was before. And before you ask me why I stopped using lash serum, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. I saw a video on the reliable source of TikTok that scared me. You can do your own research. The spikes on this brush are quite interesting. This whole process is going to take me a while, not going to lie. So I have some new lash styles from Lily Lashes. Their Ulta exclusive collection. Which one do I want to use? We'll use Megan since it's close to my name. So these are the falsies I'm going to be popping on. Since we're channeling old school makeup. False lashes, Lily Lashes. What was it? What was it called? The one that everybody had. Miami. Oh my gosh, how could I forget that? Lily Lash Miami, which were way too big for my eyes, but I put them on anyways. So natural lashes are in. So Lily came out with this natural lash, but they gotta drop the bands because the bands are too thick and not flexible enough. All I can see is the band with these lashes, so I'm not loving these, unfortunately. But they have some beautiful ones where the specific lash style will work great, even with the band. But with this one, it's not looking good. I don't know what to do. It's just like straight here. This needs to be worn with more liner. I'm gonna wait for the glue to really set down and then I'll curl them together and then hopefully it will look a little bit better. But while we're waiting for that, let's move on to lips. Trixie Cosmetics launched a new lip collection. I'm only gonna use the lip liners. The lipstick also looks gorgeous. I'm just more excited to use a different lip product, but look at these lips. sticks. But I am going to use the new lip liners. The colors look stunning. Do I want to go more warm? I'm debating between two shades, so I'm going to put them both on my lips. We'll start off with the lighter one, Kimberly. Okay, so it's like a lighter pink. Really gorgeous glide, very creamy. Very demure. I'm kidding. Very cutesy. Okay, I am done. And then, okay, I do want more depth actually. So I'm going to use Work Wife. This one is warm, which might clash with the eye makeup a bit. But that's okay, because I have the newest formula from YSL, and it came in this stunning packaging. Now it has the pink packaging, which I love. Cannot wait to put this on display. It's staying here in my filming room. We'll do Rosewood Blush. So these are the Candy Glow Balms. Smells good. Yeah, that's perfect with this lip liner. So these aren't giving super glowy. It's more of like a lipstick and balm hybrid. Pretty. Good everyday formula. Not too glowy, not too glossy, not too pigmented, but you still can get enough pigment. I like that. Let's try another shade actually. I'm going to use Pink Sunrise. This one looks more clear. Let's see. This is like a Yearlow color, but better. Doesn't give that much. This is a good everyday color. Yeah, definitely your lips, but a little bit better and a little bit brighter and a little bit pinker. Ooh, I'm going to keep that one on. I like it. I guess I could have topped the Trixie with that. Anyways, you're staying there. Overall, very beautiful today, if I do say so myself. I think one of my favorite things of today's video was the setting spray. It is beautiful. It smells beautiful. It makes my makeup look beautiful. Kind of tastes good too. Don't recommend doing that, but I hate the eyelashes though. Like my big hate for today is the lashes. They are hideous looking. Sorry, Lily. I love most of your lashes, but these aren't doing it for me. Overall though, I would say all of the products meshed really well on my skin. I'm going to be wearing this for the rest of the evening. So if I notice anything funky going on, I'll let you know down in the comments. But overall, the new products that I missed, pretty happy with them for the most part, but I definitely want to test them more to feel more confident. But man, I think the reason I wanted to do this video altogether was because I had to get the OG Naked palette on my eyes. I feel like this haunted me for such a long time because I didn't want to declutter it from my collection, and eventually I did, and it just entered my collection right again. And I'm not getting rid of this anytime soon. While I wish it could be a bit more updated, it's more fun to have it than anything. Like, I'm so giddy about it. And you know what? The quality, while a little bit dry, it still is very easy to use. Did they need to do this? I don't think so. But it's fun. If you were there in like before 2018 or whenever this palette launched, this has to be a fun one for you. As always, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel because I will be reviewing these further and testing them more as I get used to them and try them out more. If you've tried any of these products, let me know your thoughts down below. If you have better ways of applying them, would love to hear it. I'm just looking right now. Sorry, I'm still thinking about the products on my face. This is what runs through my head 24/7, especially when I test new products. I love this skin tint too. I think it looks really good. Okay, anyways, we're calling it. Subscribe, like this video to see more of me, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.